Our next speaker, Mr. Michael Cutler, spent 30 years as a special agent with the INS. He's now retired from that. This guy knows what he's talking about. Everything we're talking about here, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's also a senior fellow at Californians for Population Stabilization and a consultant, and has testified at over a dozen congressional hearings on immigration-related issues. He also provided testimony to the Presidential Commission on the terrorist attacks of 9/11. He has appeared on numerous radio and national television's news programs to discuss the nexus between immigration and national security. His distinguished career with the INS spanned more than 30 years, including 26 years as a special agent. Please, warm round of applause for Mr. Michael Cutler.
I want to thank Leah Durant for the invitation to be here. I want to thank my friends at Californians for Population Stabilization for making my trip possible. Thank you for being here, most importantly. The First Amendment not only provides for freedom of speech, freedom of press, and freedom of religion, but also addresses the right of Americans to seek redress of grievances and the right for peaceable assemblage. We, the people, have traveled to Washington from across America to peaceably assemble today and seek redress of our grievances, specifically our opposition to comprehensive immigration reform. The late, great talk show host Terry Anderson used to say, if you ain't mad, you ain't paying attention. We, the people, are paying attention. And to borrow a quote from the film Network, we are as mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. Our immigration laws are among the most important and fundamental of all of our laws. Immigration is not a single issue, but a singular issue that has a tremendous impact on virtually every threat and challenge that America and Americans from coast to coast and border to border face each and every day. And while we're on the topic of borders, it is vital to understand that the United States has 50 border states. Any state that has a seaport or an international airport is as much a border state as are those states to be found along America's northern and southern borders. Our borders are America's first line of defense and America's last line of defense. Our borders and our immigration laws are not bargaining chips for politicians who are willing to betray America and Americans that they were elected to represent to advance their political careers and garner huge campaign contributions. America's immigration laws were enacted to achieve two primary goals: to protect innocent lives and the jobs of hardworking Americans by preventing the entry of criminals, spies, terrorists, human rights violators, war criminals, and fugitives from justice, as well as those who would work illegally and provide unfair competition for American workers, thereby causing Americans to lose their jobs or suffer lower wages. The CBP inspectors who are charged with inspecting those foreign nationals who seek to enter the United States are not unlike diligent homeowners to make certain to look through the peephole before admitting strangers into their homes. ICE enforcement personnel are supposed to track down and apprehend aliens who violate our immigration laws and conduct investigations to instill integrity to the immigration system, which at present provides more than 1 million aliens with lawful immigrant status each year, along with hundreds of thousands of foreign workers who are authorized to work in the United States. America's immigration laws make no distinction about race, religion, or ethnicity, only to distinguish citizens from non-citizens. The legal term for a non-citizen is alien. The term alien does not constitute hate speech. The immigration laws define an alien as simply being any person who is not a citizen or national of the United States. There is no insult in the term alien, only clarity. The clarity that the advocates for comprehensive immigration reform seek to avoid at all costs. Let me provide you with a bit of clarity today. The difference between an immigrant and an illegal alien is comparable to the difference between a house guest and a burglar. We all love to have folks come and visit, but not when they climb through our bedroom window in the middle of the night. The Gang of Eight and their cronies say that our immigration system is broken. The failures of the immigration system are attributable to the failures to enforce immigration laws. While nature's laws don't depend on human intervention, the laws that are enacted by our government become worthless when they're not enforced. This is why the '86 Amnesty was a failure. There was a lack of resources allocated to enforce the immigration laws. And by the way, comprehensive reform does not provide for any more enforcement resources either. Comprehensive immigration reform should be renamed the Terrorist Assistance and Facilitation Act because it flies in the face of the findings and recommendations of the 9/11 Commission. Today, millions of hardworking Americans are unemployed and underemployed. Comprehensive reform would provide millions of foreign workers with the authority to work in the United States. It's not just about low-level jobs, but across the spectrum. To provide foreign workers with the opportunity to work in the United States at a time when so many Americans are unemployed or underemployed makes as much sense as finding a hole in the bottom of your boat and thinking that the solution is to drill more holes in the bottom of your boat. Both parties are responsible for the mess that we are in. Let's be very clear about it. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about being American. If you believe that Chuck Schumer, Marco Rubio, and 6 other gangsters are looking out for American workers and their families, then you would believe that the person who puts cheese on a mousetrap is compassionate and simply trying to feed hungry mice. It is not anti-immigrant to be pro-American. And finally, I want to read a quote, and I have 2 sentences for you if you'll give me the time. 5 seconds. Political language. This is George Orwell. It is designed to make lies sound truthful, murder respectable, and to give an appearance of solidity to pure wind. In his Gettysburg Address, President Lincoln ever so eloquently spoke of our government as being of the people, by the people, and for the people. Today, there are politicians on both sides of the aisle eager to invoke the American dream as a virtual entitlement for illegal aliens. Meanwhile, they blithely ignore the plight of American citizens living in poverty and ignore the struggles of American citizens to attain their thin slice of the American dream. These supposed political representatives are failing to live up to Lincoln's aspirational definition of our government and need to be sent packing. I thank you so much for being here.